What's up guys? So in today's video we'll be discussing about Bhutan in the month of April 2025, what you should be expecting in terms of weather, the road condition, the places that you should be visiting, what kind of gear you need to be carrying to Bhutan if you're traveling to Bhutan, and overall what is the budget that you need to be keeping when you're traveling to Bhutan in the month of April 2025. Now keep in mind that the month of April is the start of spring season in Bhutan. So like the rest of the Himalayas, the daytime temperature in Bhutan will range from anywhere between 15 degrees to 25 depending on where you are, and the night temperature will be anywhere between 8 degrees to around 12 degrees. So when you're traveling to Bhutan in the month of April, you have to be carrying a good amount of woolen wear along with light cotton clothing so that you're not caught in between. You wouldn't need your jacket throughout, but you will definitely need your jackets in the night because it gets really cool and windy regardless of where you are. So when you're traveling in Bhutan, if you're going to places like Ha Valley and Pobjika, which are at an altitude and are further away from the main civilization, the nights will be extremely cool. So in these places you might even need a heater because of the cold weather in the night. Now when it comes to the places that you need to be visiting, Paro, Thimphu, Punakha, Ha Valley are must visit places when you're traveling to Bhutan in the month of April. And I'm saying must visit because it's in the month of April that these places are at its absolute best. There isn't any snow because the snow has already melted off. You might get a little bit of snow at Dochula and Chelela Pass, but that's about it. The rest of Bhutan wouldn't really have any snow. When it comes to the budget, Bhutan has centralized budgeting for tourists entering into the place. So, but regardless of how you're going there, you will end up spending the same amount. And Bhutan, it is better to go with a group and to go via a travel agency because it is pretty tricky and it's not very easy to get around Bhutan on your own if you're someone who's not well equipped with the rules and regulations of what Bhutan has to offer, because you need a dedicated tour guide from the minute you enter Bhutan till the time you reach the exit gate of Bhutan. So by default, the tour guide and your SDF, which is your daily allowance to Bhutan, has to be taken into account. Make sure that when you're traveling to Bhutan, you have booked through a package. If you're looking for one, we have one. You can click on the link in the description and you can directly book via our website or contact our team via the WhatsApp option on our website. Or if you have already booked one and you're looking for any kind of information related to your trip to Bhutan, you can leave a comment in the comment section on this YouTube video and we'd be more than happy to help. Now when it comes to why April is a good time to be going to Bhutan, the first reason is the weather. The weather is so good that if you're hiking or even if you're just going to Bhutan for a leisure trip, it is a very very good time. There's not going to be a lot of crowd, so you wouldn't have a lot of waiting period in Bhutan in any places. So whether you're going for the trek to Tiger Monastery or you're going for a karaoke gig in Thimphu, you wouldn't really get a lot of crowd because it's still off season. And the month of April is a time when especially there's not a lot of crowd coming in from India, which is the one of the major influx of tourism into Bhutan. The reason being because it's still not holiday season in India. So by default, if you can manage to get your leave sanctioned and make a trip to Bhutan in April, you'll get a very very pleasant and I would say a sparsely crowded environment in Bhutan. So even places like Paro and Thimphu, which otherwise are like a mad rush in Bhutan, will not have any crowd, and it's a very very safe country to be going there. Just keep in mind that when you're traveling to Bhutan, no ATM cards or in the form of debit cards or credit cards from India will work over there, so you need to be carrying enough of cash with you from India. In Bhutan, they only accept 100 and 200 rupee Indian notes, so by default, withdraw cash or exchange it at the bank before you enter Bhutan accordingly, so that you're not stuck with any 500 rupee notes which will then become a problem to travel around with. Most of your travel agencies will in turn exchange and give you Bhutanese currency at the start of your trip, so that wouldn't be an issue. If you can get Bhutan currency from them, that would be the best way to travel around. But just make sure you have extra amount of money with you so that you're not stuck on the trip without having any money and then falling short for maybe shopping or whatever you need to do and buy when you're traveling to Bhutan. Now, an important thing to note when you're traveling to Bhutan is that the most important thing gear that you need is a pair of glares and comfortable walking shoes, because there's a lot of walking to be done in Bhutan and the sun is out pretty much all day in the morning when you're traveling around Bhutan, because it's the start of spring, it's pretty close to summer. So these two things are really vital when you're traveling to Bhutan. Just make sure that you have a very good pair of UV protected sunglasses when you're traveling around in April. My suggestion would be carry two in case you lose one or break one. You will have another pair of glasses, because without a good pair of sunglasses, your eyes are going to take up hammering, and that would be a very big problem for you. Network in Bhutan, Indian SIMs do work there with international roaming, but better than that is to take a local SIM in Bhutan, which you can do after you get your permit done. These SIM cards have 4G and 3G and work very well all over Bhutan, but this is the best way and the most economical way to get around Bhutan without having to take international roaming, because it's not really worth spending that absurd amount of money and going for international roaming when you can get a local SIM which will do the same, because any which ways you can't really use your debit and credit card unless you really have the need to use your SIM card, which is that's the only time I would recommend that you can take international roaming, but other than that it's not worth it. Over and above this, the people of Bhutan are extremely friendly and nice, so you will not have any kind of issues in terms of service or in terms of moving around. Most places do have Wi-Fi, so Wi-Fi you can easily connect with. Some places have paid Wi-Fi, some have free Wi-Fi, so it depends on which kind of a place you're vibing at or chilling at. Just remember that when you're going to Bhutan and you're planning a trip in April, travel for a minimum of 6 nights, 7 days. Anything shorter than that, it's going to be a trip where you're going to be traveling a lot. By traveling a lot, I mean like every day you'll be doing long journeys and you'll be just stopping at a place for shorter time as compared to the journey. What happens with a longer trip is that even though the journeys are long, you will spend equal amount of time in each place, so it does justice to the amount of money you're spending. A shorter trip and a longer trip, the difference in the money that you spend will be roughly around 10 to 15,000, depending on the duration of your trip and the number of people. So overall, if you can maximize your leave and go to Bhutan for, I would say, anywhere between 7 to 9 days. The longer the better. Anything shorter would just make you feel that you just missed out on Bhutan and you never got a real experience of what Bhutan has to offer. When it comes to food, Bhutan has a very beautiful cuisine. The food in Bhutan is one of the best cuisines that you'll come across in the Himalayan region. So make sure that you try out the local food in Bhutan. We do have blogs catering to what is the kind of food that you can expect in Bhutan in terms of the local food. You will always get Indian food in Bhutan, but if you're someone who likes to experiment and try out, I would say, local cuisine, then the cities of Paro and Thimphu are the places that you should be going to experience the cafes and the restaurants which will serve you a lot of local cuisine that will make you experience and understand what Bhutan has to offer. So now till our next video for Bhutan, stay safe, stay happy and stay blessed.